welcome back to Inner Alchemy Alcove. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Lauren Rose and I'm your guide for inner work here on this channel. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. In the last video, we took a closer look at the initiation stage, discussed various catalysts which initiate a healing or self-development journey, and I provided a few strategies to help you move through the stage. If you haven't watched it yet, I will have it linked below, or you can find it in the top right-hand corner of your screen. Without further ado, let's get into it. Today we are going to be diving deeper into the exploration stage of our journey. This stage marks a profound shift towards self-discovery and growth, where we are actively engaging and diving into our inner world to get a better understanding of our emotions, beliefs, and behavioral patterns. We are no longer curled up in a cocoon on the couch, feeling sorry for ourselves, but rather actively searching within ourselves for meaning and direction. So maybe we're doing a little bit more journaling, going out into nature and having and going for a walk, and just really trying to clear our heads and figure out where to go next, right? Within the inner alchemy perspective, this phase is often described as the quest for the philosopher's stone, signifying the search for inner wisdom and transformation. In spirituality, we see it described as the journey of the soul, or meeting ourselves, our higher selves, highlighting the pursuit of deeper meaning and connection with the divine. Or you may even hear the term seeker. We hear that term a lot within the spiritual community when people first peel themselves off the couch and they get on their laptop and they're trying to figure out what they should do next and trying to find out what the next steps are. They're considered seekers. They are seeking answers to maybe their problems, or seeking answers to as guidance for where they should go next. Both of these are describing the exploration stage of the journey. And in philosophy, we see it being called the pursuit of self-knowledge, emphasizing the Socratic ideal of understanding oneself. In psychology, this resonates with concepts like self-exploration or inner journey therapy or inner work. These emphasize the importance of examining one's psyche and past experiences to foster personal growth and healing. Self-reflection and self-awareness are vital components of the exploration stage, as they allow us to deepen our understanding of ourselves, our emotions, and patterns of behavior. By engaging in self-reflection, we uncover our subconscious beliefs, unresolved emotions, and hidden aspects of our psyches, or maybe suppressed parts of ourselves that we repressed back in childhood because we felt that we didn't need them anymore, or that they were hindering us from fitting in with the crowd. When we are young, crowds mean safety because we are not able to protect ourselves yet. So it's very, very normal and common for us to be more willing and more wanting to seek our tribe, or to suppress parts of ourselves and not be authentic and trying to fit in. It's a normal survival technique for us. One strategy for practicing self-reflection is meditation. By quieting our mind and observing our thoughts and emotions without attachment, we are able to gain a clarity and insight into our inner workings. During meditation, we are able to realize patterns of self-criticism or anxiety that maybe we previously weren't privy to, leading to a deeper understanding of ourselves. I know for me specifically, when I meditate, I realize that I'm not one to really criticize myself, but oftentimes if I'm having an issue with another person, I am so quick to really be harsh on them. So in realizing that that's something that comes up for me through meditation, it's something, to be honest, I never had even thought of looking into before, but sitting down and realizing that this is a reoccurring theme, I decided to look into it, and I realized that this is a self-defense mechanism from attachment wounds that I have in the past. And it's my way of protecting my heart from being hurt when people pull away from me. So by recognizing that, I'm able to notice this within myself and to redirect my thoughts away from that thinking pattern. So for instance, I know this, and maybe people can resonate with this. Let's say my house is a mess and I feel like I'm not getting enough help from my partner. Immediately my head will start listing off all the things that are wrong with him to get me upset and want to maybe start a fight with him, possibly even talk myself into leaving him or hating him or something like that. And I noticed that is what, excuse me, what has sometimes prompted me to maybe be a little snappy with him, because I'm not expressing it to him because I know it's just my thoughts, but because I'm not redirecting my thoughts, I'm just kind of sitting there with them. I find that I end up having little snarky remarks, or maybe slamming things, little things that he picks up on and that I'm not willing to admit, and then that starts a fight. So it's easier for me to immediately recognize what is going on within myself, that I'm pushing him away in my head for fear of abandonment and trying to protect myself. And what I do is I just refocus my thoughts on my breath or on something different, something else that's more productive, like what I need to do next, or go to a happy place, practice some grounding exercises. When I do that, then the thoughts go away, and then I don't have to regret my actions later on in the day, or regret what I've said, because that's another thing. Sometimes we say things really quick and we may mean them in that moment, but we don't actually mean them in the overall grand scheme of things, right? So another way that we can explore is through shadow work. So shadow work is a powerful tool for self-reflection, which involves exploring and integrating unconscious aspects of ourselves, usually through journaling. And with the journal, we write down our thoughts, feelings, and experiences without judgment. So we literally, it doesn't matter what the thought is, what happened, we just write down. Just get your thoughts out. Don't write whether you think it's a good or bad thing, or anything like that. You literally, whatever you're feeling, just let it out. Let it flow out onto the paper and release it from your body pretty much, right? When we do this, we're able to physically, like in front of us, whether you're using a computer or your phone to journal or an actual notebook, when we do this, we're able to literally log our thoughts, and from this we're able to catch our unconscious patterns. So maybe you didn't realize that you're really stressed out and you can't figure out the cause of your stress, and through your journal you're able to realize that your stress is being triggered by this specific event or this specific person, and now we have a direction that we can go into. Now we can start looking into why does this person or why does this environment trigger you, and what is it triggering within you. We're able to look deeper underneath the surface, but it's a lot easier when we're able to track it in a journal and writing it down. And also writing down what comes up during meditation is a great idea, so that you can keep track of it. It's, we have so many things going on, it's impossible to remember everything. So combining meditation and shadow work and journaling is a great idea to help you during this stage. Another effective strategy is one-on-one or group therapy sessions. These sessions are effective because the trained facilitators provide a safe and supportive space for individuals to explore their thoughts and feelings. Sometimes you need someone else around to share what they've been through for you to feel validated enough to speak your truth. I know a lot of times I run into people that have just been so invalidated their entire lives, or never given the space or the container and time to talk about what's wrong with them. So they're constantly dismissing themselves and trying to turn the tables back and back on you, and not in a negative way, not like a narcissist would, but in a, oh, don't worry about me, are you okay type of thing, or oh, not being able to take compliments and like, oh, you're beautiful, stuff like that. So when we're in these group sessions, a lot of times what ends up happening is as people start opening up and talking about their experiences and what's going on with them, other people will be like, oh my gosh, I feel the same way, or I've been through the same thing. And it enables us to feel a sense of calm and ease, and we're able to take our walls down and open up. Through dialogue and introspection, facilitators help clients uncover underlying issues and develop healthier coping mechanisms. So as you share things, the facilitator will then ask questions and maybe give insights on what's going on and give you and be able to redirect you. Like, this is why you're doing this. This is how is it affecting your life in this way? If it's not, then they'll back off. If it is, then they'll help you get to the bottom of it. You might be able to understand how your childhood experiences are affecting your behavior, sometimes just through observation of other people, because sometimes other people are a little bit further along on the journey and they already know that this experience back in their childhood is the reason why they're doing something in this time. So being able to hear people and their perspective on what's going on with them can also open up doors that you maybe weren't sure were available yet. In essence, self-reflection serves as a powerful tool for personal growth and self-discovery, allowing us to uncover hidden aspects of ourselves. This is a really, really important portion of the exploration journey. This is the reason why it's called exploration stage is because we are supposed to be exploring ourselves, our psyche, our values, because we had an experience, right? And we learned something from it. So we're trying to figure out what the lesson is here. What should we, because we're trying to move on to the next step, which is processing, which is going through and getting and learning the new skills we need to live a happier, healthier life. During the initiation and exploration stages of the healing journey, many of us may be tempted to self-diagnose based on our observation and reflections, especially when you're following a lot of these pages. You're going to most likely start following a lot of healing journey pages or mental health, self-help gurus, and possibly getting down into the realm of people talking about you may be autistic if you do this, this, and this, or you may have ADHD if you're doing this, this, and this. This inclination can arise from a genuine desire to understand yourself better and find explanations for certain thoughts, feelings, or behaviors. This is completely normal, and I remember very clearly when this happened to me. There are several potential issues with self-diagnosis that we should all be aware of. Self-diagnosis can be inaccurate. Without proper training and expertise, it's easy for individuals to misinterpret their experiences or symptoms and apply labels or diagnoses that may not be appropriate. This can lead to unnecessary anxiety or mismanagement of one's mental and emotional well-being. This is such a huge, huge, huge topic to discuss. Sometimes this can lead to a diagnosis, diagnosing yourself, being curious about what's going on with you, for sure. However, on the flip side, there's a lot that goes into getting a diagnosis, and sometimes these diagnoses can take a long time because there's so many factors involved. A really good one to talk about is the uptick in autism diagnoses. A lot of people with the self-diagnosis. It is very possible that we are having an uptick in seeing people with autism, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with autism. It's just a different neurology, really, and a different way of living and being and seeing the world, right? But it is also important to understand that autism can sometimes also look like CPTSD or ADHD. A lot of the symptoms or characteristics that go with autism can also go from can also be seen in child neglect and child abuse victims. So that's why I said seek PTSD, as well as there's a lot of shared characteristics with ADHD, which can make it very, very hard to diagnose the three because there's so many overlapping characteristics. So there's also a spectrum. Just because you've experienced these things or you do these things occasionally, there's a very big difference between, not being able to concentrate under times of stress versus legitimately needing it, needing help so much so that you need to be medicated. Now, psychiatrists, the ones that diagnose these conditions, they have had hundreds and hundreds of hours not only studying and researching these different diagnoses, but they've also with people one-on-one with people in front of them. And I know for me personally, just from my experience over the last few years of doing research, meeting people and watching people's and observing people's lived experiences, I'm able myself to be able to see the differences in different diagnoses and different traumas. I'm able to pick out different coping mechanisms. I can literally see someone who is truly, and I don't want to say I'm always accurate because I'm not a doctor, but it's just from my own observations. There is a difference. There surely is a difference between someone who has CPTSD, autism, ADHD, or a combination, okay? And the more you work with people, the more you do research, the more you're able to really pinpoint. And it's also important to note that sometimes we are not correct in our self-diagnosis, as well as the therapist, doctor is not always correct the first time. Sometimes it takes time because we don't always divulge all the information. We're not even always tell the truth to ourselves. So that also is a factor to consider. Secondly, self-diagnosis can oversimplify complex issues. Human behavior and emotions are so multifaceted and influenced by so many factors, including genetics, environment, and past experiences. Attempting to condense a human being's experience into a single diagnosis may overlook important nuances and prevent individuals from addressing underlying issues effectively. The reason why I put this in there is because sometimes people get obsessed with trying to get a diagnosis, or sometimes I see it being pushed within the therapy field because of insurance purposes, but our obsession with labels a lot of times can put us in a box and doesn't allow us to explore other avenues, especially, like I said, with so much information overload on the internet. A lot of people saying that the language being used out there, like if you have ADHD, you have executive dysfunctioning, so you just can't accomplish tasks. It overgeneralizes things, right? And it makes people, but for people who are new to the exploration stage and are really seeking to find an explanation for what's going on with them, what they will do is they will be like, they will internalize that and kind of take on that label and those symptoms or conditions and use it as an excuse to not heal, to not grow, to not develop into their fullest potential. And I see it a lot on social media, so much, especially in the comments. I see it a lot in reels. Like we have BPD, so we can't ever heal. So it's almost like they're trying to seek an excuse for their behavior. And I know what this is like because I over-identified with labels at one time too. I went through many different, paradigms within different fields and got attached to those labels. And I realized that I was hindering myself by getting too attached to my autistic diagnosis, getting too attached to my BPD diagnosis, getting too attached. I had gone down the human design rabbit hole, which I do want to get into at some point on this channel. But I got super attached to my reflector label for a little bit. But I was able to realize what was happening because I meditate, because I journal so much. And I was able to realize what was happening and pull myself out of these over attachments and these labels that were stopping me from getting to the next step in my journey. Thirdly, self-diagnosis can reinforce stigma and stereotypes. By adopting labels without professional guidance, individuals may inadvertently contribute to the perpetuation of misconceptions and negative attitudes towards mental health conditions or psychological struggles. This can lead to feelings of shame or self-judgment, hindering the healing process. A good example of this, one day I was on TikTok, and it was during my time of looking up stuff about reflectors within human design. And I saw so many people saying, oh, this whole time I thought I was autistic, and it turns out I'm just a reflector. That is so like, it made my heart hurt for anybody who's ever gotten an autism diagnosis. Like, it was so dismissive, and I don't think people who say this mean to be so dismissive, people with these diagnoses, but that's what happens. That's how it came off. On top of it, if you are autistic and you need help or you need accommodations, going to a professional and getting that diagnosis is hard. I understand that. But it is also important that even if you can't get that specific diagnosis, they can still recognize patterns or pinpoint patterns within your behavior that you can work on that maybe you can't see within yourself. So never dismiss another possibility is what I'm trying to say. I think it's really, really important not to, and it's important to be mindful of what we put out on the internet and what we say so as to not contribute to spreading misconceptions and misinformation, right? So that's my tidbit on that. Instead of focusing on the labels or diagnosis, I really want you guys to spend this time identifying behaviors and patterns and underlying factors that contribute to your experience. This involves cultivating self-awareness and understanding the context in which thoughts, feelings, and behaviors arise. So means you're going to have to dedicate some time to educating yourself, whether that be through therapy, because they do some education there, or by watching YouTube videos, picking up some books, and just trying to figure out what's going on. Read some things about inner child healing or childhood trauma. Read about the effects of bullying. Read about parenting. There's so many things that I learned about through parenting books that are actually helped me with my relationships with friends, family, and my partner. So, for example, rather than self-diagnosing yourself with depression based on experiencing sadness, low mood, you might explore underlying factors contributing to your emotional state, such as stress, unresolved trauma, relationship difficulties, improper diet, improper routines. So circadian rhythm. Do you stay up all night and sleep all day? That messes up your hormones, and your hormones aren't distributed to your system correctly. And so that can contribute to imbalances within your brain, which can look like depression. Anyways, in conclusion, while self-reflection and exploration are essential components of personal growth and healing, it's important for us to approach this process with caution and humility. Seek professional guidance if necessary, and focus on understanding your behaviors and underlying factors versus labeling and trying to find diagnosis. During the exploration stage of the healing journey, individuals may explore various modalities to support ourselves in our self-discovery and healing process, right? These modalities will range from traditional therapy, or you can go all the way into alternative approaches. Each of these modalities offer a unique benefit and challenge. Not a single one of them is going to give you everything you need. It's important to take little bits. The best way I can say this is take what resonates, take what feels right to you, and let the rest go. In a way, and in this portion right here, we're gonna talk about a few of them and what the pros and cons of them are in an effort to help you decide and use caution. So therapy. Traditional talk therapy, such as cognitive behavioral therapy, psychoanalysis, and interpersonal therapy, provide structure and supportive environments for us to explore our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Therapists offer guidance, validation, and tools for coping and self-awareness. However, there are some negatives to talk therapy. If we have not yet reached a sense of safety within our body, talk therapy can be extremely re-traumatizing. It does require time. So it requires you to spend an hour a week or every other week, however you set it up, time away from your job, your family, whatever's going on. It requires a commitment outside of the home that you need to think about. Also, finding the right therapist can be a really big, stressful journey of trial and error. On top of finding a therapist and also having to get out of your house, there is a huge monetary investment, right? Unfortunately, in our country here in the United States, therapy is a luxury. Whether a lot of insurances don't cover it, and even if they do, there's still a portion that you have to pay. And unfortunately, with the way the economy is right now, not many of us have that extra money to spend on our mental health. So we have to find alternative ways that we can do at home. And that's where things like YouTube channels come in, where they're offering free information, free workshops, or buying workbooks. Spending $24 is a lot cheaper than spending $100. You know, we do what we can when we can. So another modality you can use is mindfulness. Mindfulness, meditation, yoga, journaling, walks, all of these things help individuals cultivate present moment awareness and acceptance of our experiences. These practices reduce stress, improve emotional regulation, and can help us foster a sense of self-compassion. However, this does also require consistency, and a commitment is needed to experience lasting benefits. This is, unfortunately, I will say this, healing is like kind of an entire lifestyle shift. It's not something that we kind of do for a little portion of our, like maybe the cognitive part of it, but a lot of it is lifetime things that we incorporate into our lives. Thinking, especially like for me, the thought of consistency, because I'm not always a very consistent person, the thought of having to do something every day at first was very challenging for me. So I had to learn to not even think about it and just do it. Just make it a routine every day. And when I feel that resistance within my body, within my mind, and in my thoughts, I just ground myself and I focus back on my breath, and I clear my mind, and then I switch my mindset into focusing on the benefits. So I'll say, after I do this, I'm going to feel so much better. Tomorrow's going to be so much easier for me. Things like that help me to stay consistent. Another modality a lot of people tend to explore during the exploration stage is self-help. This includes self-help books, workshops, online resources such as worksheets, communities. All of these individual resources offer a wealth of information and tools for personal growth and self-improvement. These resources empower us to take an active role in our healing journey and explore various techniques and perspectives. However, self-help materials vary widely in quality and in relevance, and it can be overwhelming to navigate the vast array of options. We are in the age of gurus, self-help guides, and self-proclaimed psychologists, healers, and coaches. And I don't say this to bash any field or anybody's work. However, I do want to say it is important to use caution, and I've mentioned this before. There are people out there within this field who truly have a passion and are doing great work. But then there's also people out there who are just in this to make money. And they're preying on innocent people that are in a desperate place in their life. They know how easy it is to manipulate and to get you when you're at your lowest point. And then you kind of, in a way, use it against you. And that's really, really unfortunate. So it's important to use discernment within the self-help realm. Do your research and kind of compare workshops, resources, books. Make sure you're not staying within one path, is what I'm trying to say. So if you find a self-help person, coach, guru, spiritual leader on YouTube or online or within your community, great. That's awesome. Follow them, learn from them, but make sure that you're also then looking for others so that you get a more well-rounded perspective, so that you don't end up idolizing one person, making them your guru, and then possibly not growing or healing everything you need to. It's important to get a well-rounded view of what's going on with you, and also so that you never know what you might learn about yourself, learn about what's out there. Sometimes it can be overwhelming with so many different modalities out there, but I will say that most of them are the same. It's a lot of the same information being repeated, just with different labels, different language. So that's another thing to look into. Be careful what you're signing up for, because you may just be signing up for the same thing that you just did last year. And unless it's something that you really want to dive in deeper on or something, you might not benefit from it, and you might feel like you're wasting your money. So just do your research and make sure you compare, and make sure you follow more than one person's advice. Another area we tend to explore within the exploration stage is spirituality. Exploring one's spirituality or engaging in practices such as prayer, meditation, or ritual can provide us with a sense of meaning, connection, and purpose. Our beliefs and practices can offer comfort, guidance, and a framework for understanding life's challenges. The biggest thing to take away from here is important to realize that we may encounter conflicting beliefs or dogma within these rituals or religions or spiritual communities. And sometimes it's important to use discernment here too, and to recognize when these beliefs are turning us away from connection, away from community, and pushing us towards judgment or condemning of another group or another being, or not caring for the planet. Okay? So spiritual bypassing is a really big thing out there, and I will be doing a whole series on that and what grounded spirituality should look like. But it's not my place to tell you what to believe in. There is a lot to learn from all the spiritual pathways, and a lot of them kind of go through this healing journey. I had mentioned this before. A lot of them do go through this process. It just looks different, and sometimes the wording that's used can affect our journey. Some of the actual practices, depending on where we are in our journey and what's going on with us, it could lead us to further disassociate. It could lead us to further dive into escapism and never actually do the work of healing. Things like meditation and plant medicine are good examples of this. Even like the cold plunges that you see a lot of people doing on social media, a lot of times people get addicted to that activity, and then it no longer becomes a tool for their healing journey. It becomes their vice to escape actually feeling and doing the work. So important to keep in mind. I think this is a part of the journey that everyone goes through, and everybody kind of stumbles a little bit. You have to go and kind of make the wrong decisions in this a little bit to learn what is right for you and what isn't. So no judgment, no matter what you choose. Or also, don't judge yourself if you change your mind. What if you decide to become a Buddhist and you start doing it for a couple of years, you get really, really into it. 7 years down the line, you discover, oh my gosh, this is just not for me. It really helped me at that part of my journey, and now I feel like I need to be, push myself into a different part of my journey and leave this behind. And that's okay. It's okay. There's many, many paths up the mountain. The only one who's the fool is the one going around and trying to tell everybody what they should be doing, right? So just keep in mind the exploration stage or the entire journey is very personal, and it's something that we should be listening to our own intuition on. Other modalities that are used often in the exploration stage, which I highly, highly recommend, are acupuncture, massage therapy, energy healing, and herbal medicine. One thing I want to mention about energy healing is be careful. Try not to get sucked into feeling like you need an energy healer to energy heal. What I would recommend is learning how to heal yourself. So taking like a Reiki 1 class would be good. Learning about the chakras and yoga, healing of the chakras, stuff like that is good. Learning how to move energy and to focus on being able to feel energy. Those are all good things, okay? What I do not recommend is when people say, oh, every time you have a block, you need to contact them and they will do some ritual or some spell to release you from this blockage or to remove a spell from you. These are all manipulative tactics. You do not need anyone else to do your energy healing. Now, if you decide that you want to go to maybe a sound bath, Reiki healing session, that's fine. Maybe you just want connection. Maybe you just want to witness to what's going on. That's okay, and I do encourage that. But don't think that you need. I don't want you to be manipulated into thinking that you need that. You do need connection, but you can get it in other ways. You don't need to go to a healer to get energy healing. You can do it to yourself, and I highly recommend you learning to do so. There are videos here on YouTube that can show you or teach you how to do it, or you can go to a class and maybe join the community through something like that. Another modality that can really help you get through your journey of just life in general is creative exploration. Engaging in creative activities such as art therapy, music therapy, journaling, and expressive writing allows us to explore and process our emotions in a nonverbal and symbolic manner. Creative expression facilitates insights and catharsis and self-discovery. The big issue here is a big blockage here is people a lot of times are scared of being judged. It's okay we all have to start somewhere and learning something. It's okay to pick up a new instrument. This is something actually I want to explore within my journey. I've had a lot of issues with learning to play instruments, and between my just sensory motor skills, my coordination, it hasn't, or even my lung capacity, it just hasn't been easy for me. So for me, learning to play an instrument, I've tried stuff like guitar, I've tried piano, and I just don't have the strength in my hands. So I did give up for a long time, and I'm thinking about getting back into it and maybe picking up something new, maybe like a hand pan or something like that. It's actually very meditative and helps you get into the moment and into your body. So it's a really good, even grounding exercise, playing instruments, even doing art, just focusing on clearing your mind and only focusing on the strokes, or maybe just completely clearing your mind and just channeling whatever comes up for you and just letting your hands kind of take over and create something fun or something that expresses an emotion. These are great tools, and I'm hoping to go into this too on this channel. If not, there are some great channels out there that go into art therapy. So in summary, exploring various healing modalities during the exploration stage can offer individuals valuable tools and insights for self-discovery and healing. Each modality has its strengths and limitations, and individuals may benefit from integrating multiple approaches into our journey. It's essential to approach modalities with an open mind, patience, and self-compassion, and seek guidance from qualified professionals when needed. Embracing vulnerability and authenticity is crucial during the exploration stage of the healing journey. By allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, we invite the possibility of connecting with our true selves on a deeper level. This vulnerability enables us to confront our fears, insecurities, and inner struggles with honesty and courage. When we embrace vulnerability, we create space for authenticity to flourish. Authenticity involves living in alignment with our true values, beliefs, and emotions, rather than conforming to societal expectations or wearing masks to hide our true selves. By embracing vulnerability and authenticity, we are able to cultivate a greater sense of self-acceptance and self-love, which are essential for our healing and growth. Being vulnerable allows us to break down barriers and walls that we may have erected to protect ourselves, like I mentioned earlier. In doing so, we invite openness, connection, and empathy into our lives, fostering deeper relationships and a sense of belonging. Vulnerability also allows us to explore our own inner world with curiosity and compassion, leading to greater self-awareness and understanding. When we are truthful with ourselves, we are able to tap into our innate resilience and capacity for growth. By acknowledging our vulnerabilities and embracing our authentic selves, we experience profound healing and transformation, leading to a more meaningful and fulfilling life. A really beautiful quote that I read in the book, The Body Keeps Score. Bessel van der Kolk is talking about one of his teachers or somebody that he had learned from. And he talks about the lies we tell ourselves and how that is what stops us from being able to heal. And I honestly, that when I was having my initial really deep healing part of my journey, because we go through, like I said, we go through this many times in our lives, but there's certain moments that really impact us more than others. And when I was at the deepest pits of my inner work journey, I remember that just popping up so many times within my journey. Like, man, if people would just be honest with themselves and stop lying and stop trying to justify their behaviors, they would grow and be able to move on so much faster. So it's important to really focus on being honest with yourself during this part of the journey. So excuse my appearance. I did get interrupted as I was recording this video, and I was not able to get back into recording during daylight so I could have good lighting on the same day. It's 2 days later, and here we are. So I apologize for the sudden change, but let's get back into our video. Another obstacle that you are going to run into while you're on, or you may run into while you're on your healing journey, is navigating uncertainty. You know, unfortunately, no one can really tell you exactly how to get through a healing journey. We can only tell you, as I've said before, what we have done and what worked for us, but there really is no perfect blueprint that's going to work for everybody. It's completely situational and subjective. This uncertainty while you're on your journey, like, is this even going to help? Is this going to work? It may trigger anxiety or depression. And that's or indecision, and that's very normal. You may not know where to go, what to do next. And it can be hard to navigate with all of the information that's out there online, right? So take your time. I've mentioned this before, but take your time through this exploration stage. Try different things, talk to people. Don't get stuck on one theory or way of doing things, because you never know what's going to work for you. And it also can change at different stages of your life. Different things, different modalities that we talked about earlier can be really impactful at different times, right? And it's okay for things to really work for you at one stage of your journey and not work anymore, and you need to adjust. That's okay. That's normal. Don't judge yourself or shame yourself for that. To navigate uncertainty, practice acceptance and staying within the present moment. Trust your intuition. We will go over how to learn to trust our intuition in later videos, and how to trust our inner knowing in later videos. Keep in mind, failure is a natural part of growth. You're going to fail. You're going to make mistakes. And it's okay. Every time we fail, we learn a little bit more about ourselves. And it might seem like a setback, but it's exactly what you needed to get to the next level, to learn your lessons, to realize what it is you need to do, right? So I know I feel like I'm a kinesthetic learner, which means that I have to physically do something for me to like learn it. Like, you can lecture me, you can show me visuals and all that stuff, and that's great. And I'll understand the concepts, general concepts, but that isn't doing anything for me. I have to physically do it. So that's how I learned. I learned through failure, and I've had moments where that's embarrassing. Starting businesses and being out in the public and failing so publicly, it's very humbling sometimes. And having to go through that several times in my adult life, and I still, it doesn't matter what I do, I still to this day get a lot of slack for all my failures and everything, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. Like, you want to stay stuck in the past and judge me for my past and try to hold me to who I was then, that's on you. Every single day I'm growing and I'm getting better. So, try to keep that in mind when you fail. And you are doing this for you, not for anybody else, or at least you should be. So your only competition is who you were yesterday, and that's it. It's not about anybody else, right? So just be patient and kind and compassionate with yourself as you go through this exploration stage and the whole journey. Every time you feel yourself going through this, just sit with yourself and be kind. Through courage, resilience, and perseverance, we can overcome challenges and experience breakthroughs that lead to profound personal growth, transformation, and reconnection with our peers. Each obstacle we overcome brings us closer to our authentic selves and opens up to new possibilities. I would have never considered some of the things that I've been able to get into and done in my life had I not been open to these opportunities, right? And if I wouldn't have healed, okay, I would probably be one of these people that, I forget what it's called, that have that phobia and I just stay inside all the time. That could have been me. I could have allowed that to be me, but I chose not to. And you can too. We can heal and we can overcome and rise above our past. I know we can. I'm not the only person. There's so many beautiful and inspirational stories out there of people who pick themselves off, out of the bottomless pits of hell, and now they're doing really good for themselves, and that's so inspiring. And when I say doing really good for themselves, that doesn't mean that they're a millionaire. I need you to get that out of your head. This whole millionaire mindset and you're only successful if you make 7 figures is absolutely insane. You are successful if you can wake up and say, you know what, I am grateful to be alive today. Let's see how this day unfolds. That is successful to me, and that should be around what everybody is striving for, is to just be content and happy in being alive and being grateful that we have this experience, because a lot of people's get cut short. There's so many people that aren't here with us anymore, and the fact that you're alive, it's so rare. Like, you understand what had to go through for you to be conceived and alive right now. I know it seems like people just having babies all the time, and life, we seem to not hold life on such a high pedestal anymore. But the truth is like, you are one in a bajillion. Like, you are beautiful and unique, and you deserve to be here. You deserve to heal. You deserve to overcome, and you deserve to live and be the very, very, very best version of yourself, whatever that looks like for you. As I have mentioned many times in this series, and many times you will hear me say within this channel, self-compassion and self-care are essential pillars of support during the healing journey. The exploration stage can be really intense and challenging as we dive into our inner worlds and confront difficult emotions and navigate unfamiliar terrain within ourselves. During these times, it's crucial for us to be gentle with ourselves and show ourselves self-compassion and self-care. We can't shame ourselves into getting better. It doesn't work that way. You can use those tactics and they might work at first. You might see a little bit of something, like you might finally get up off the couch. However, it's not sustainable because shame, it just doesn't work. Shame only breeds more anger and hurt within ourselves. Self-compassion involves treating oneself with kindness, understanding, acceptance, especially within moments of struggle or vulnerability. Instead of, like I said, the harsh criticism or judgment, self-compassion encourages us to offer the same kindness and support that we would give to a friend or a loved one. A lot of the time I see this too, I know for me, especially with partners that I've had in the past, is that they are so loving and kind to someone struggling or suffering, right? And they're supportive and they're there for them. But when they are struggling or suffering, they're so hard on themselves, especially men. Oh my goodness. Like, you could be so mean to yourself. And I've never understood it. And now I do, because I understand you guys men are typically conditioned in a shameful and kind of self-hating way. A lot of men are brought up under that toxic masculinity, which uses those tactics to make you change by making fun of you and all that stuff. And I don't think a lot of men or people in general understand how that affects us in adulthood and later on down the line, and in other avenues, right? So you got to learn self-compassion, and I will be doing my best to help teach that to you and providing workbooks to help you with that. But that is a personal journey all in itself, depending on where you come from or what has happened in the past. This is very, very hard for veterans, to cultivate that self-compassion for themselves, because they feel that they are the worst person in the world because they are doing taboos like killing people, so they don't think that they're worthy of love, healing, and connection. And it's not only that, there's other things that people have done, that they just don't think is redeemable. Similarly, self-care involves prioritizing one's physical, emotional, and mental well-being through intentional actions and practices. This may include activities such as getting enough rest, nourishing your body with healthy foods, engaging in physical activities, or spending time in nature. Connecting with loved ones and engaging in activities that bring you joy and relaxation are also forms of self-care. Self-care is not just bubble baths and buying expensive things, because treat yourself, right? It's the first way to end up in debt anyways. But it's important to remember that you cannot pour from an empty cup, right? You have to take care of yourself in order to show up and be the best version of yourself for others. So, little thing, like if you are growing up with CPTSD, it's very possible that you struggle with these nourishing daily activities, like brushing your teeth, like taking daily showers, like eating well, and it's not your fault. You didn't experience it. So this is part of reparenting yourself, is giving yourself what you need as an adult, and this will help you gain trust with yourself. Your inner child and your protector parts will be like, okay, someone's actually got our back, and it's us. Like, we can do this, and they'll start trusting you, and they won't feel a need to come out and protect you all the time and lash out at others or take over, right? So start very, very small with self-care activities, eating healthier foods, working out a little bit. Start slow and work yourself up. There is a reason why those activities make you feel better. There's a reason why we encourage that so much within a healthy lifestyle, like niche, right? is because it does work, and there is a psychology behind it. It's because you're finally getting your needs met. So make sure you meet your needs before others, unless you have a child. Unfortunately, like, children come first. There is no, but you can do things to make sure that your cup is full before you deal with children, like waking up a little bit earlier to make sure that you get in some time to make yourself a healthy breakfast, to maybe do some workout if you don't have time later on in the day, go for a walk, whatever it is that you need to do to meet your needs. Make time for you. So important. It's normal to encounter challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt along the way, but remind yourself that it's okay to not have all the answers and to make mistakes. Give yourself permission to make mistakes. Many times we self-impose unnecessary pressure on ourselves by focusing too much on future scenarios that have not ever happened or will never happen. Fostering a sense of acceptance and resilience is important in helping us remain present and focused on our goals and healing. I wanted to invite you to explore a simple yet powerful practice that you can use to support you through the exploration stage of your journey, that will help to make things maybe not go so dark. I mean, there will be times, okay? But I did within my practice, and it is scientifically proven that gratitude and mindfulness journaling can help you during this stage. So all you would need is to set aside a few minutes every day to write down 3 things you are grateful for. These could be small moments or gestures or experiences that bring you pure joy, peace, or appreciation. You can use whatever you have at home, or check out some of my guided journals that I have available on my Amazon. And just take some time and write it out. Okay? Or look up some mindfulness journaling prompts online too, if you don't want to buy, my resources. There's plenty of free resources available out there too, right? Writing down what you are grateful for and mindfulness journaling can help shift your focus from challenges to blessings, fostering a sense of positivity and resilience during the exploration stage of your journey. Benefits of gratitude and mindfulness journaling are improved mental health. Research shows that regularly practicing gratitude and mindfulness can lead to reduced symptoms of depression and anxiety. Gratitude journaling helps us shift our focus away from negative thoughts, while mindfulness journaling helps promote present moment awareness, both contributing to a more positive outlook on life. It contributes to enhanced well-being. Gratitude and mindfulness journaling have been linked to increased levels of happiness and life satisfaction. By acknowledging and appreciating the good things in life through gratitude and cultivating present moment awareness and acceptance through mindfulness, we can cultivate a sense of contentment and fulfillment in our lives. It can lead to better physical health. Studies suggest that practicing gratitude and mindfulness may also have physical health benefits, such as improved sleep quality, reduced inflammation, and lower blood pressure. These effects contribute to our overall well-being and longevity because everything is connected. Our mind and our bodies are connected. It can boost your self-esteem. Acknowledging one's blessings and accomplishments in a gratitude journal and cultivating self-compassion and non-judgmental awareness like mindfulness journaling can boost self-esteem and self-confidence. Both practices reinforce a sense of self-worth and empowerment. Gratitude and mindfulness journaling promote emotional well-being by helping individuals regulate their emotions more effectively. Gratitude journaling counters negative emotions by focusing on positive aspects of life, while mindfulness journaling encourages non-reactivity and acceptance of our emotions as they arise. Mindfulness journaling encourages present moment awareness and acceptance of experiences, thoughts, and emotions, leading to greater mindfulness in daily life. Taking time to reflect on experiences and cultivate self-awareness promotes a deeper sense of mindfulness and gratitude for the here and now. By incorporating both gratitude and mindfulness journaling or practices into your daily routine, you will encourage yourself to observe your thoughts, emotions, and sensations with curiosity and non-judgmental awareness. This heightened self-awareness allows us to explore our inner world with more deeply and helps us gain deeper insights into our emotions, beliefs, and patterns of behavior. Mindfulness journaling encourages present moment awareness and acceptance of experiences, thoughts, and emotions, leading to greater mindfulness in daily life. Taking time to reflect on experiences and cultivate self-awareness promotes a deeper sense of mindfulness and gratitude for the here and now. By using mindfulness, we learn to observe our emotions as they arrive without reacting impulsively. Gratitude journaling teaches us to shift the focus away from the negative thought patterns and foster emotional resilience and balance. One thing I wanted to say real quick, mindfulness also includes meditation. You might not have heard me say like, I encourage meditation, for this or this yet, because I will say mindfulness and not. Mindfulness is like an umbrella term for journaling, for and it specifically, and meditation. I think in another video, maybe the last video, I talked about a Buddhist meditation that helps to teach you how to just view your thoughts. Maybe it was this video. I can't remember now, sorry. But doing, reframing yourself to just observe your thoughts and not judge or follow them. Like, you ever have a thought come in and you just follow it through where it's going and it just gets you angrier or more aggravated or more annoyed or more sad? That's because you're feeding it. Okay? So when we don't feed it and we just sit back and just observe it and take note, okay, so that came up, right? And then we journal about it later. What happens is we learn to not internalize our thoughts and we learn to just let them pass, because our thoughts aren't reality. Okay, they aren't necessarily our reality. Sometimes it's just the inner critic trying to save you, or another protector part trying to come in and convince you, of something else or sabotage you in a way of protecting you. So mindfulness helps us to be able to, opens up curiosity. Like for me, when I have, like I had mentioned earlier, where I could see people's faces when these thoughts come in, that's how I know it's not like me. It's a conditioned response that, from someone else. And when that happens, then I know now, because I'm able to just observe it and not follow the thought, I know that I need to do a little bit more work maybe with my experiences with that person and go back into that, the traumas within that and work and do a little bit more inner work there and to release, not only somatically, but mentally, okay? Mindfulness journaling can also be a helpful tool in teaching us to accept our experiences and emotions as they are, without resistance or judgment, as I just said. This will help foster self-compassion and allow us to approach ourselves and others with kindness and understanding, even in moments of struggle or vulnerability. Both journaling types or practices contribute to building resilience by promoting a mindset of positivity, resourcefulness, and acceptance of the present moment. When we focus on gratitude, we are able to cultivate resilience by recognizing and appreciating the blessings in our lives. Every morning, the first thing I do after, brushing my teeth, I drink warm lemon water, and then the first thing in the morning, I don't drink coffee yet. But I come up into here and, some people may pray, and they'll give thanks in that way. For me, I just say, thank you for giving me another day. In a way, I'm praying too. This is what I meant when I said there's some religious practices that are going through the correct steps anyways, like prayer and confession and stuff like that. Those are all different parts of the journey if you're paying attention and you can see the correlations, right? A confession will be being honest and truthful with ourselves, right? And prayer would be the gratitude, showing gratitude for what you have. whether you are saying thank you to, a deity, or saying thank you to yourself or the universe, whatever it is that you believe in, it does not matter. The point is that it's helping you to cultivate a sense of gratitude and compassion and acceptance and peace within ourselves, right? Overall, incorporating mindfulness and gratitude journaling into the exploration stage of our healing journey provides us with valuable tools for self-discovery, emotional regulation, resilience, and personal growth. By cultivating mindfulness and gratitude practices, we can navigate the challenges of the exploration stage with greater ease and find deeper levels of healing and insight along the way. We are finally nearing the end of our video, so let's go over what we discussed today to summarize this video. Today we talked about the exploration stage of the healing journey by discussing what it is and defining it, exploring different paradigms which describe this part of the journey. We talked about self-reflection and how it can foster understanding and insight. We discussed how various modalities, including therapy, mindfulness, self-help, spirituality, and alternative therapies can support us on our journey. We stressed the significance of embracing vulnerability for deeper healing and growth, explored common obstacles and strategies for overcoming them, and underlined the importance of being gentle with oneself during the stage of the journey. In the next video, we'll be diving into the processing stage of the healing journey. This is the stage that involves integration of the insights gained during the exploration stage and the process of actively working through our emotions, beliefs, and patterns of behavior. We'll explore strategies and techniques for processing and transforming experiences, as well as the importance of self-reflection and support during this phase. I invite you to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell if you would like to learn more about healing, self-development, or you would like to learn more about the next stage of the healing journey. We have a beautiful community also on Facebook that you can join. I just realized that I am not able to post links below yet because my YouTube channel is so new. I'm working on that. It's going to take a few days. So I'm not going to allow it to take 2 months like they want me to. I just have to send in some information to prove that I'm like a real human being and then wait for it to get processed. So if there are no links below the video, check, I believe, in the About Me section type of where I say welcome to Inner Alchemy Alcove and I talk about the channel. At the very bottom, there's links there, and there is a fan link that you can click on that will give you a button to press that will lead you to the Facebook group. I'm so sorry that you have to go through those steps and I can't link you directly to it, but soon. We're getting there, right? Within the next week or so, we'll have actual links at the bottom. So stay tuned for a deeper dive into the healing journey, and I look forward to learning and sharing and growing with you all. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to learn and grow with me today, and have a blessed day.